In this video, we are going to study about the each step of aerobic respiration in detail. As we have studied, the first step of aerobic respiration is glycolysis. Glycose refers to glucose and lysis refers to splitting. So here it is what the linear series of reaction is taking place. The six carbon glucose molecule is split into three carbon molecules, that is pyruvic acid. Okay, so the enzymes which are required for glycolysis, they are present in the cytoplasm. So other thing we have studied, the glycolysis or the breaking down of the glucose molecules, it takes place inside the cytoplasm. The reaction of the glycolysis was worked out in yeast cells by three scientists. They are Emdem, Meyerhoff, and Parnas, and so it is also called as the EMP pathway. Now it is the first and the common step for both aerobic and anaerobic respiration. As we have studied, aerobic respiration takes place in 4 stages, whereas anaerobic respiration takes place in 2 stages. In both the type of respiration, the first step is what? It is the glycolysis. Now in glycolysis, there are 2 phases are there. One is the preparatory phase and the other one is the payoff phase. So preparatory phase, or it is also called as endogenic phase or exose phase. Okay, so preparatory phase, it is in the 6 carbon stage, or it is called as the exose phase. Payoff phase or oxidative phase or exergonic phase, or it is the triose phase. So your payoff phase is what? It is in the 3 carbon stage, that is the triose phase. So here let's study about the preparatory phase and the payoff phase of glycolysis. So in the preparatory phase, glucose enters the glycolysis from sucrose, which is the end product of photosynthesis. Glucose is phosphorylated, that is addition of a phosphate to form glucose 6 phosphate by the enzyme hexokinase, and the subsequent reactions are carried out by different enzymes. At the end of the phase, fructose 1,6 bisphosphate is cleaved into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate by the enzyme aldolase. So here first step in glycolysis is what? Phosphorylation is taking place, that is the addition of the phosphate to the glucose molecule is taking place. So this takes place in the presence of the enzyme hexokinase. As a result, we are getting a substrate glucose 6 phosphate. Now this glucose 6 phosphate, it undergoes continuous reactions, okay, and it will form at last in the preparatory phase. At the end of this phase, it will form fructose 1,6 bisphosphate, okay, and this fructose 1,6 at the end of this preparatory phase, this fructose 1,6 bisphosphate will undergo breaking, okay, break into 2,3 carbon compounds in the presence of aldose, okay, in the presence of the enzyme aldose, and it will form glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate or dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So these two are this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, they are the isomers. Okay, now here during preparatory phase 2 ATP molecules are consumed. So here in the first phase 2 ATP molecules are produced. Okay, next is the payoff phase. So two molecules of glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate oxidatively phosphorylated into two molecules of 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. So will undergo phosphorylation, that is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will undergo phosphorylation to produce 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. Now during this reaction 2-NAD is reduced to NADH and H plus by glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Further reactions are carried out by different enzymes. At the end, two molecules of pyruvate are produced. In this phase, 2 ATPs are produced, and at step 7 and 2 and ATPs at step 10. Okay, so here 2 ATPs are produced at step 7 and 2 ATPs at step 10. So direct transfer of phosphate moiety from substrate molecule to ADP and is converted into ATP is called as substrate level phosphorylation. So what is substrate phosphorylation? Transfer of phosphate from substrate molecule to ADP is converted into ATP. So this is called as substrate phosphorylation. So here you can see the flow chart. Now this flow chart is very important, children. Glycolysis flow chart. So here we have studied the glycolysis flow chart can be studied in two phases, preparatory phase and the payoff phase. So in the preparatory phase, what is happening? The glucose molecule which is produced in the photosynthesis, in the presence of the enzyme hexokinase, it will undergo phosphorylation and produces glucose 6-phosphate. So here you can see the first, that is in the first step, glucose is getting converted into glucose 6-phosphate. Okay, next this glucose 6-phosphate in the presence of the enzyme phosphohexose isomerase is getting converted into its isomer fructose 6-phosphate. Now this fructose 6-phosphate will again undergo phosphorylation and will produce in the presence of the enzyme phosphofructokinase, it will produce fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. Okay, now this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, it is the last stage in the preparatory phase. Now this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate in the presence of the enzyme aldolase, it will split into two 3-carbon compounds. They are glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate. So this glyceraldehyde, both these glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate and dihydroxyacetone phosphate, they two are the isomers. So here what will happen? Next, this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate will again undergo reduction. It will produce 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. This 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, it will undergo dephosphorylation, that is one inorganic phosphate is lost. So it will form 3-phosphoglycerate. Again it is catalyzed by the enzyme. And this 3-phosphoglycerate in the presence of the enzyme phosphoglyceromutase, that is this 3-phosphoglycerate will undergo mutation to produce 2-phosphoglycerate, that is the phosphate changes its position from the 3rd carbon to the 2nd carbon. Next, this 2-phosphoglycerate, it will lose a water molecule in the presence of the enzyme enolase and it will form phosphoenol pyruvate. Okay, this process is called as enolation. Next, the phosphoenol pyruvate, it will again it will give out a phosphate to produce the pyruvate in the presence of the enzyme pyruvate kinase. Okay, so here we have studied when the ATP formation is taking place from the substrate. So by the breaking down of the substrate, the ATP formation is taking place. It is called as substrate level substrate phosphorylation, direct phosphorylation or trans phosphorylation. Okay, so here next we have studied in the presence of the enzyme enolase, the substrate, the 2-phosphoglycerate, it loses a water molecule. Okay, in the presence of the enzyme enolase, this process is called as what? Enolation. Next is the energy budget. In the payoff phase, now here we are going to study how much energy is consumed or given out. So in the payoff phase, totally 4 ATPs. So here you can see on the top 1 ATP and at the bottom 2nd ATPs. So here you can see. So here you can see, children, that is in the payoff phase, totally 4 ATPs and 2 NADH molecules are produced. That is in the payoff phase, 4 ATP and 2 NADH plus H plus molecules are produced. Since 2 ATP molecules are consumed in the preparatory phase, so the net product is 2 ATP and 2 NADH plus H plus. So the overall net reaction of glycolysis C6H12O6 plus 2 ADP plus 2 phosphate gives plus 2 NAD plus 2 it will give rise to what? 2 molecules of CH3CO COOH plus 2 ATP plus 2 NADP plus 2H. Next is what? The pyruvate oxidation. So here CH3CO COOH, this is the pyruvic acid or pyruvate. Now second step in the aerobic respiration is what? Pyruvate oxidation, or this is also called as the link reaction. So 2 molecules of pyruvate formed by glycolysis in the cytosol, that is from the cytoplasm, will enter into the mitochondrial matrix. Okay, so once the pyruvic acid is formed, what will happen? It will leave the cytoplasm and it will enter inside the mitochondria. In aerobic respiration, this pyruvate with coenzyme A is oxidatively decarboxylated into acetyl coenzyme by pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. So here next what is happening, this pyruvate will with coenzyme A is undergoes oxidation and decarboxylation and dehydrogenation, okay, to produce oxidative decarboxylate into acetyl coenzyme by pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. This reaction is irreversible and produce two nucleotides of NADH plus H plus and 2CO2. It is called as the transition reaction, okay, or it is also called as the link reaction. So the reaction of pyruvate oxidation, so pyruvate plus 2 NAD plus 2 coenzymes gives 2 molecules of acetyl coenzyme plus 2 NADH plus 2 molecules of carbon dioxide is given out. The third step of aerobic respiration is the Krebs cycle. 2 molecules of acetyl coenzyme formed from the link reaction now enter into the Krebs cycle. It is named after the discoverer, German biochemist Sir Hans Adolf Krebs. The enzymes necessary for TCA cycle are found in the mitochondrial matrix except succinate dehydrogenase enzyme, which is found in mitochondrial inner membrane. Okay, so the two enzymes necessary for TCA cycle or the Krebs cycle, they are present inside the mitochondrial matrix. Okay, so here and it is present in the inner membrane of the mitochondria. TCA cycle, so here you already studied the structure of the mitochondria, you know the structure of the ribosomes, that is the oxysomes also, you know children. Okay, next is the TCA cycle. So TCA starts with condensation of acetyl coenzyme with oxaloacetate in the presence of water to yield citrate or citrate. Now here this is the flow chart of the Krebs cycle. So as we have studied this to a pyruvate, on the top you can see the pyruvate. This pyruvate is formed by the breaking down of the glucose molecule. So one glucose molecule breaks and produce 2 molecules of pyruvate. This pyruvate will undergo decarboxylation and it will form what, and you reduces NAD ions to NADH plus H plus and will form the acetyl coenzyme. Next what is happening, this acetyl coenzyme in the presence of the oxaloacetate, it will get converted into citrate. Okay, next it will produce the next intermediate compound, cis-aconitic acid, and the third intermediate compound is what, the isocitrate. Now these three substrates, citrate, cis-aconitate and isocitrate, they all contain the carboxylic group. Okay, so this is also called as tricarboxylic acid cycle. Okay, next what will happen, so all this reaction is catalyzed by the enzymes. So the next substrate is what, oxalosuccinate. Okay, this oxalosuccinate will again undergo decarboxylation. It will produce alpha ketoglutarate. Okay, now this alpha ketoglutarate again it will undergo decarboxylation and produce succinyl coenzyme. Next, the succinyl coenzyme will form the intermediate product succinate, okay, fumarate, malate, and again oxaloacetates are produced here. So this is another flow chart that we have to study. Okay, so this is about the Krebs cycle. Next we are going to study about the, so here already we have studied TCA cycle starts with condensation of acetyl coenzyme and oxaloacetate in the presence of water. So here it is starting from the condensation of the acetyl coenzyme with combination of oxaloacetate and in the presence of water to yield citrate or citric acid. Okay, therefore it is also known as citric acid cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle. It is followed by the action of the different enzymes in cyclic manner during the conversion of succinyl coenzyme to succinate by the enzyme succinyl coenzyme synthetase or succinate thiokinase. A molecule of ATP synthesis from the substrate without entering the electron transport chain is called substrate level phosphorylation. In animals, a molecule of GTP is synthesized from GDP. So here we have studied, that is the 2 molecules of pyruvate, okay, before entering the mitochondria, before entering inside the Krebs cycle, it is getting converted into acetyl coenzyme. This enters inside the Krebs cycle. Okay, so here therefore Krebs cycle is repeated twice for every glucose molecule, where 2 molecules of pyruvic acid produces 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, 8 molecules of NADH and H plus, and 2 molecules of FADH2 and 2 molecules of ATP. Significance of Krebs cycle. TCA cycle is to provide energy in the form of ATP for metabolism in plants. Okay, so it provides energy. Next, it provides carbon skeletal raw material for various anabolic process. Next, many intermediates of TCA cycle are further metabolized to produce amino acids, proteins, or nucleic acid. Succinyl coenzyme is raw material for formation of chlorophyll, cytochrome, phytochrome, and other pyrrole substances. Alpha ketoglutarate and oxaloacetate undergo reductive amination and produce amino acids. It acts as a metabolic sink which plays a central role in intermediary metabolism. Next is the amphibolic nature. So here Krebs cycle is primarily a catabolic pathway. Okay, that is breaking down is taking place and provides precursors for the various biosynthetic pathways, thereby an anabolic pathway too. Hence it is called as what? Amphibolic pathway. It serves as a pathway for oxidation of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. When fats are respiratory substrate, they are first broken down into glycerol and fatty acids. Glycerol is converted into DHAP and acetyl coenzyme. This acetyl coenzyme enters into the Krebs cycle. When proteins are the respiratory substances, they are degraded into amino acids by proteases. The amino acid, after deaminization, enters into the Krebs cycle through pyruvic acid or acetyl coenzyme and depends upon the structure. So, respiratory intermediates from the link between synthesis as well as breakdown. The citric acid cycle is the final common pathway for oxidation of fuel molecules like amino acids, fatty acids, and carbohydrates. So, I'll continue with the next, that is electron transport chain in the next video, children.